All right, what's up, my brothers? We have a requested video today from a gentleman who wants to know what to do if your girlfriend blames you for an STD. These topic requests just keep getting more interesting as we go along. He sent me a link to a Call Her Daddy podcast episode, which I cannot play during this recording, but I will summarize it for you and place the link below. So it says, "Hey, Rich, recently listened to you and Rollo talk about the recent Call Her Daddy and Barstool Sports debacle, and I went down the rabbit hole and read about all the drama. These two mid-20s thought Call Her Daddy podcasters are sad, but an honest reflection of our current female appeasing culture, and you must understand your enemy." Now, this guy makes a very interesting point. I don't care how good or bad you think your girlfriend is. She's going to be amused by this content. I don't care if she's a librarian, a church-going, whatever. She's going to be amused and entertained by this content. All women will be. So don't think for a minute, oh, my girl won't be interested in that. This is not something she'll listen to. All of them do. So sad, honest reflection of our current female appeasing culture, but you must understand your enemy, that being unchained feminism, to beat them at their own game and thus make good listening. I recommend you listen to this 3-minute clip. So what I've done is I've listened to it, and basically what they're talking about in this clip, which I will pin below, you guys can check it out and skip up to the point that he's mentioning. It's basically starting at the 21-minute mark. They're basically talking, one of the girls was talking about her involvement with her soccer team and how all the girls on that team were pretty much hoes. We'll not use that term, let's say garden tools. And one of them, or several of them, have gotten STDs in the past, and the strategy that they adopted, in which she's telling other women to adopt here, and it seems widely acceptable by their behavior and the way that they're breaking it down and condoning it even, is blame him if you created the STD. Even if you're in a relationship, you cheated on him and banged the Chad on the weekend during your weekend away with your girls, and you get the STD, blame him for it. Basically tell him, what she said was something along the lines of, I went to my doctor to get my recent checkup, found out that I have an STD. What the hell? You're the last guy that I've been with since my last checkup. This is all your fault. So they don't take any ownership for it. So this is what they're broadcasting. This is what they're telling women to do. It's pretty funny. Listen to it from a red pill perspective. It's just another example of what my brothers out there are listening and up against. It also happened to me several years ago, and listening to women laughing at it, if I am honest, it's hilarious. The lengths blue pill men will go to for a woman, but in the end, a blue pill man is a joke to both women and men. Absolutely true. Now, also, if a woman is in an LTR, gets an STD from banging another dude, instead of having 0.01% of honor to tell her, the man she professes to love, the truth, and that she now needs treatment, they should be completely, that they should completely 100% blame the man and deny them cheating. So this is exactly what I just described here. You know, I had an STD check before getting with you, and you're the last guy I slept with, so what the hell's going on? It's your fault. You gave me an STD, basically. Thus making the man believe that the last girl he slept with weeks, months, sometimes years before the relationship somehow gave it to him, and he passed it into his wife or girlfriend. It's a perfect ploy on a blue pill guy. It's remarkable the devious and underhanded methods women will go to avoid any kind of ownership. I've talked about ownership in women before. Women are particularly prone to taking ownership for some of their bad choices and results in life. They often, will blame other people. I don't think it's particularly unique to women. I've seen a lot of guys do that as well. It's more like the lower T, weaker guys that will start to behave that way. But it's pretty much par for the course. So you have to understand what it is that you're dealing with. So back to the STD, thinking a man believes last girl, blue pill, which is my question. What should a man do if their girlfriend wife says she has an STD? Well, let's keep reading. I'll tell you what my final decision on that is. As mentioned, this very thing happened to me years ago in my former blue pill state with my ex-girlfriend, who I thought was my soulmate, butter could not melt type of girl. The same one I later married. I even drove her to the STD clinic and apologized for what I did. I am sure there are plenty of men out there that have the same thing happen to their ex or current LTR. Richard, I'd love to get your take on this, and hopefully we'll avoid men help make similar mistakes I made with this. Keep up your great work. Okay, thanks, man. So here's the thing. I mean, even in a long-term relationship, assuming that it's a monogamous long-term relationship, which is kind of the conventional one that most guys get into, usually stop using condoms. Fine, whatever. You know, they get boring and tiresome after a while. You kind of have the expectation that she's not going to put you at risk. So, I mean, if you end, so, okay, if you're not banging anybody else and she ends up telling you that she got an STD, or surprisingly one day out of the blue, you get a rash on your Johnson, you're like, what the hell? This actually happened to a friend of mine. He was, with this chick for a few years, hadn't been intimate with any other woman for quite some time. And he ended up with a rash on his Johnson, turned out to be herpes. And he was like, what the hell? Like, I haven't been with anybody else. Who have you been banging? She denied it, vehemently denied it, in fact. And he ended up doing some research. And I think he said he found out that it's unlikely that you can get it from other things like toilet seats, or if you shake hands with somebody that has herpes, for example, and touch yourself when you go to the bathroom. It's unlikely, but it's like nobody was able to pinpoint the origin of it. She said that she wasn't doing anything. He knew he wasn't doing anything. It was just, all right, well, where the hell did it come from? It just showed up out of thin air. These things don't usually show up out of thin air. I don't think it's that likely that you're going to get it from something like a toilet seat or, public spaces if you're in showers or something like that. But at the end of the day, guys, you're going to have to be careful. I mean, if you're out and about, you're spinning plates, you should definitely be using condoms. If you're going to resign yourself to not using them, if you get into an LTR, you should definitely have a clear, concise conversation about your expectations. I mean, you don't want to get anything that's going to ruin your Johnson. It's going to make it hard for you to have sex, enjoy sex, potentially have sex with others later on if it doesn't work out with that person. I mean, if you have herpes, you basically keep that shit forever. It's like luggage. It's always stored in your basement. Remember that crack joke that Eddie Murphy pulled from one of his stand-up tours. But you get what I'm saying, right? I mean, you've got to be careful as a dude. You can't trust these chicks. You can't go around. I mean, a lot of guys go around raw dogging women all the time. And, at some point it's going to catch up to you. And a lot of these chicks, women are more apt to go and have unprotected sex with men that they deem alpha. So if you're in a long-term relationship with a woman and she's going outside of that relationship, not telling you, I mean, let's just assume that it's monogamous, whatever that means today. And she's going outside of that and banging some Chad on one of her trips to Vegas, New York for the weekend with her girlfriends or whatever. And she doesn't disclose it, which she won't. She's not going to be honest about it. I mean, women aren't going to be honest about their behavior on the down low. It's something that they're not typically proud of, but on podcasts like this, you'll hear them proudly brag about it amongst their friends as if it is a badge of honor. In society, though, they tend to shame away from that, or they still tend to shy away from that. But as pointed out here in this broadcast, and as this gentleman points out, and as I've just mentioned with a friend of mine, it is not uncommon for her to blame somebody else or point and sputter at you when she knows full well what she did. Protect yourself. It's like, the whole notion of always being in control of the birth. You should make sure that if you're having sex, that you're not, just leaving it up to her to take her birth control pill or to rely on the fact that she might have an IUD. You should only be getting involved unprotected in scenarios like that where 100% for certain she has an IUD, or that I wouldn't even trust birth control pills, to be honest with you. If you're in an LTR, have her switch over to an IUD if you're not going to use a condom. But generally speaking, use a condom, protect yourself, be careful. It's not worth it. Most of these things nowadays, you can get a shot or a pill and it'll clear it up. If you do get anything, some things you can't, obviously, herpes, AIDS, obviously, they can only treat it. They can't cure it, but you definitely want to be real careful when it comes to STDs. So dude, want to thank you for, sponsoring this topic today and giving me the content. Again, the links will be down below if you want to listen to that episode. If you have an experience to share below to add beyond what I've just talked about in this broadcast, definitely leave a comment, gentlemen. Let me know what you think when it comes to STDs and what your strategy or protocol is. Just be super careful out there, because women are more promiscuous than ever. I mean, women today, I saw a study in the last year, women today admit to having more sexual partners than at any other time in history. And I don't think that they're truthfully admitting to the number of sexual partners still. I think that what they're doing is they're more likely to admit to having more sexual partners because it's more open. Liberalism's kind of, spreading around the West. It's more widely accepted that women can behave and act more like men, due to this toxic version of feminism. So they don't take particular care when it comes to sexual health and protecting your own sexual health in the future. So yes, I believe it is happening more. I think women are definitely more promiscuous, and they're definitely not as careful as they should be, which the same token goes for you guys. Don't trust women. Don't well, are you clean? Yeah, I'm clean. Well, okay. Well, then if you're clean and I'm clean, then we can just go ahead and proceed. It's like, be careful, guys. Be smart about it. don't go around swinging your Johnson, raw dogging everywhere. Cover your ass. Actually, what I'll do is in the top comment, I had a sponsorship deal with Let's Get Checked for testosterone. I'll put a link below. If you use the same coupon code, I think it's Cooper20, I'll dig it up and make sure I put it in the top link. But you can go and get a at-home STD test beyond just the testosterone test. You just prick your finger, you send the blood in. It's discreet. They'll send you the information and let you know if you're positive for anything. So check that out. If you're unsure, you can go down and do that test yourself. Also, give the video a thumbs up and a like. Leave me a comment. If you have any other requests, you can make a request by going to entrepreneursandcars.com/request. That will also be pinned in the top comment. Thanks for watching today's video. See you guys in the next one. Peace.